Hey folks, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I hope you're having a really good day. Apologies that I'm a couple of minutes late. I realized right before I started to go live that I didn't have the board ready, I didn't have stabilizers ready, I didn't have switches ready. I have all that ready now. It's all here. No image, can't see shit. What? Can you hear me? Max Effie, I'm not sure if that's just you, but it looks like it's okay on my end. Wait, what? I'm confused. Everything's okay. Okay, I think it's on Max Effie's end. Okay, that sounds good. Let me just refresh to make sure I can see everything that's going well. Yeah, everything looks alright for me. Okay, so yes, so I was running late. Max Effie panicked me there. Mac, I hope you're okay. Anarchy got first today, so well done to Anarchy. Brian is also here as well because he made it look like I was celebrating myself because he posted on Subclass account and he said, "We love Jane." And thank you, Brian, but that wasn't me that posted it, so yeah. Okay, who else is here? We've got Not Geo as well, One Drunk Man, Yoni Wolf, Acidic Pure, Karcher is here as well. Karcher actually got his JO2 in this week and took some really nice pictures of it. So I'm glad about that. He built his before I even built mine. Right. Hey. Zappri's here as well as Acidic Pure. Cyber Sam's here as well. Good evening, Cyber Sam. Good to see you around, man. Kakan says, "This is a small step for mankind, but a huge step for keyboards." Maybe. Switch Doctor is here as well, says hi everyone, and Joe from Crafted Cables as well. Rotsub, J Saints, and Jos. I think that's everyone. Blood Particle as well. Thinkware says, "Sounds like the start of one of my streams." Yeah, I think Max Sophie just panicked me for a second, but it looks alright where I'm watching it on the server, so I think everything's okay. Need to get to the groomer to get the beard trimmed. Cyber Sam, thank you very much for the subscription. Yes, I do. So there is an issue with that, though. So as of this week, the country that I'm in, England, UK, goes back into lockdown. So I have like 3 days to be able to find a slot at a barber's, get a haircut, and my beard trimmed to get back to normal. So yeah, we will see, but hopefully that will happen. Only heard my beautiful voice, but no image. Thank you, Max. My voice is not beautiful, but I will take the compliment. Thank you. All I can see is a garden gnome. Yeah, I just need a pointed hat, right? Osiris, very nice. Thank you very much for that, dude. I appreciate that. Okay, everything is exploding. Man, it seems like today people have been upset. And everything is exploding everywhere. Geo doesn't love me. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, he says he adores me. Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you. Zapocalypse is here. Zerp, I haven't seen you for ages, man. Well, welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome to the stream. Viz is here as well. Visionaire. I'm just going to be lurking and playing OSRS. Nothing wrong with that, man. You play that game. You be your best self in that game. Kakan wants to 1v1 you. Read the second part. I did read the second part. I got there in the end. Dude. Don't worry. I got there. I just had to get through chat. Give me some time. I'm modding my Fartboy today too, pouring silicone. Well, I actually need to build mine, so I'm going to build mine in the standard configuration. And once I've done that, then I might start to tweak and modify, but it's absolutely going to live out in the workshop. It's going to be there all the time. That's Brian on the other account. Yes, if you see me typing, it might be me, but if I'm not typing, it has to be Brian. So that's how you can tell. Are we going back into lockdown because we've had an explosion of cases? Yeah, and where I live, it's actually been really bad. It's actually gone really high. So I live in Yorkshire, which is often called Yorkshire and the Humber when you see the stats. And yeah, it's gone pretty high where I live. So just one of those things. It doesn't affect me too much. No one else comes to the workshop, so I'm still free to come here. It's less than 5 miles from my house, so I'm still free to come to the workshop. I can still work from here. I can do my day job. I can do keyboard stuff. I'm all good. I'm all set. So, yeah. Jay always gets it in the end. How would you know, good sir? How would you know? Jax, if you're pouring silicone, I want to know what you're doing. Like, I really want to know what you're doing. You need to send me a DM and show me what you're doing to it. Because I'm just going to build this, and then I'm going to start looking at 3D printing some parts and doing some different cable stuff and things like that. So, yeah, I'm really excited to do that. Okay, it has a design issue with the top cover I have to fix. I mean, it has a pen rail, so it can't have much of a design issue. Thank you, Gio, for gifting that tier 1 sub to Beadlocks. That's 222. You're catching up on I1A now at 250. You aren't too far away from him. Sky says, hey, glad to catch a stream live for once. I've been keeping a keen eye on the Insta waiting for the pastel and ether session ships. So excited. Yeah, I try not to talk about prototyping stuff too much on here, but they will ship soon. Most pastel sets will go out next week, apart from the rainbow and the mint sets, and ether should be in a couple of weeks' time. Certainly they'll all ship within November, I can say that. A1A said he was done. People said, well, I still think it'll take quite some time before Geo catches him. I can't see it being anytime soon. Gonna lose his mod status. yeah, that's how you get to be a mod in something like server, is to just donate a ton of subs. Usually it's around the 150 mark, so JShuff's not too far away, so yeah, absolutely. That's a joke. That's not real. Okay, so I've got a couple of things for you today, guys. Just on Friday, I actually got in the EPBT Retro Cyrillic, so of course I nabbed myself a set, because who wouldn't? And I want to show you guys that and show you guys what it looks like. As well as that, we're going to build the MK-76 Fat Boy. Now, I've been trying to look at the build guides for this, but it seems pretty complex in places, so hopefully it won't take too long and it should be relatively smooth. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But let's flick over to the other camera and I'll start to show you guys what we have. Okay, so first of all, switches today. Holy Pandas. These are original Holy Pandas. These have never been used. So these are completely stock. Just Holy Pandas. Come on, camera, focus. Focus, damn it. Why is the camera being like this? There we go. Focused. There we go. Just original Holy Pandas. I do actually have, there is 2 or 3 of the Glorious Holy Pandas in here, but we won't be using those, and we can quite easily see them because the stem is a completely different colour. So we'll be discounting the Glorious ones. I think there's 3 or 4 in there, but we will be using the standard ones. So that's the switches for today. Crone King is here as well. Pokemon Kid says, I heard there was Fat Boy on stream. Yeah, you're looking at it, man. You're looking at him. You know me. You know me, Pokemon Kid. Are they blessed by Brian? These ones probably not, no. I don't think Brian has ever even tried a Holy Panda, to be honest. Oh man, got the thermal on the desk instead of the Alice looking purple board. Yeah, so the Alice looking purple board is the Flex Virgo. That's actually on my desk out in the workshop, and the thermal's here, and then I've got the IM180 there, so yeah. Damn you, thick. Yeah, thick and dumb maybe, yeah. Who's Brian? Exactly, Zuri, exactly. I don't think he does have the first Holy Panda, but he definitely has the first Holy Panda board. Because I've typed on it. I've used it. I've used that particular board, so I know that the original board does exist. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other bits and pieces. This is just a pack of mounting hardware, so there is all sorts of O-rings and feet and screws and stuff in there, as well as a small plate. And on the topic of plates, I just downloaded the DXF files for everything because it's all open source and had everything made in carbon fiber. So just to see, now I might not use all of these, I might use some of them. There's a rear plate, there's a mounting plate for the daughter board, I believe. There's 2 internal plates. Again, not quite sure what these are for. I think that's a switch plate, and I'm not sure what that one's for. But we'll work it out, right? We'll work it out. And then this is a top case cover as well that we might be able to change to. So, we shall see which of these we're going to use. I haven't decided as yet. Got a little bit of carbon fiber, yeah. Aiming for speed. No, not today. This is going to be a chill stream today. And in fact, actually, I'm probably going to be streaming most days this week because I've got so many boards I need to build. I just need to start pounding through them. So there's going to be a build today, there's going to be a build tomorrow, there's going to be a build on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Thursday's TC day, so there probably won't be a build then. And there might not be one on Friday, but there will be one both on Saturday and Sunday next week as well. So, yeah. Brian, I'm uncomfortable with you saying things like that. Because you know it's true. Okay. As you can see, I haven't unwrapped half of the stuff that comes with this, so I'm seeing this for the first time, same as you guys. So let's see what's in this compartment. We have what feels like some plates. Secrets have been kept for too long. Any pounders in chat? Maybe quarter pounders. Stream delay. It's about 5 seconds, this stream delay. So then we have an aluminium switch plate. We're probably going to use the carbon fiber one over the top of this. Sorry, instead of this. So that's probably not going to get any use. And then we also have another aluminium plate. I didn't realise I'd ordered 2, but apparently I did. They're identical. Great. Okay, so we have at least 2. Once you've got more than one PCB. Let's take a look. Hey Dilcrom, thank you very much for joining, man. This build already looks outrageous. Damn, dude, this build is so cool. Like, this is the coolest build of the year. We did get 2 PCBs. Look at that. There we go. 2 PCBs. Nothing else in there. PCB 1, designed by Yanka in Cambridge. MC-76K Matrix V1 Doppler. There you go. So yeah, also supports ISO, but none of the plates I have do, because I forgot to change it before I ordered the carbon fiber one. So we are going to build this ANSI, but the idea is that we can mod and change and do as much or as little as we want to this. So however we build it today, it might change in the future anyway. What's up with the MK-76? Why do you think it'll be the coolest build of the year? Just because it's so customizable, right? This isn't like a normal keyboard. Like, when you see the mounting system on this, it's kind of insane. You can do so much with it, or change it, or do whatever you want with it. And most boards don't have that. So this is cool because you can mod it to high heaven, and it's designed to be modded. Like, it's not designed to be one specific thing. It's designed so that everyone can have the same board, but none of them are actually the same. Look at those side cutters. Yeah, boy, these are great. Like, for the price, these are premium snippers, side cutters, flush cutters, whatever you want to call them, but these are really, really good. Also, I had something else turned up this week, Gio, which you might be a fan of. This is the Morgri, if my camera focuses, come on camera, the Morgri switch puller. Trolling Cootie, thank you very much for the subscription. Appreciate that. Thank you for sorting the EVA switches for me. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. This is a premium switch puller. This is the stainless steel kind of tweezer ends, but you can change those out for some SHP ones, which stands for, I believe, super hardened plastic. They just screw on. Like, I haven't decided if these are worth the money or not yet. Like, they're really, really hefty. They're nice. They're a nice tool. They've got the Morgri logo on there. They're fingerprint magnets because these are stainless steel ones. But, like, it feels nice. It feels premium. The spring's good quality. There's no squeak or crack or anything like that. Yeah, it's just really nice. They're a lovely tool. Are they worth what they cost me? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, these were $90 or something shipped, plus an extra $35 for the other, the super hard plastic switch puller parts. Plus, then I got charged £45 UK import fees. So they were like 145 quid, I think, in total, British pounds. So it's like $170, which is obscene for a pair of switch pullers when you think about it. But hey, if they work and they're good, yeah. I have not pulled any of them. I have not pulled any switches, Brian. No, not at all. Happy I got the black ones. Yeah, these are a fingerprint magnet, dude. I made a mistake going for these ones. He's just covered in fingerprints instantly. Yeah. Aniki's right though about the board. It was built to be personalized rather than just spending time on a shelf to look at. Aniki, you must hate my collection, man, because most of that sits on a shelf. It's true. Those smudges, yeah, they are smudges. Yeah, they're just fingerprints, but it happens. It's a tool. It's designed to be used, Gio. It's designed to be used. Worth the price, says Melodit. I need it. How do I get it? So you go on the Morgri website. If the camera will focus, it's there. Morgri, MORGRIE. You go on their website, MaxFE, and you pay a silly amount of money for a pair of switch pullers. So we'll see. Did I lube it? I did actually. I put some lube on the spring just in here. I just put a tiny bit of lube on that spring. Yeah. They aren't worth $75 for how often I use them. ABC Twitch is here and waving, hey. Before you lose them like every other expensive tool. Hey man, I look after my tools. A pro uses pro tools. I should send these to you then, Pokemon Kid. Can we see the Retro Cyrillic key set? Calm down, calm down. We'll get to that, Zephyr. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Let me show you the board first, and we'll talk about how the board goes together. And then before we start the build, we'll have a look at the Cyrillic key set. If it's pros, why did I buy one? Same Geo. I'm in the same boat. An aspiring pro. I really don't understand the audience of those. You know, me and Geo apparently. But yeah. I won't lose them. No, I'm pretty good at my tools. I take good care of stuff. The hardest thing I have with tools is finding the right one when I need it. So, for example, in my little tub, I've got all my Torx and hex drivers. Finding the right one out of there when I need it, that's my challenge. Because it's invariably the last one I pull out. But I'm pretty good at looking after my tools. Yeah, these ones aren't going to bend. Like, yeah, these are not going to bend. Yeah, these are really good. Now I just need a nice keycap puller. So Max, if you find one, let me know, because I'm in the market now for... Now I've got some artisan switch pullers. I'm in the market for an artisan keycap puller. That's the next thing for me. That's the next thing. Any long-term chair reviews available? Yeah, so the Newy chair that I have here, it's exceptional. I've had it since August, and I sit on it daily, and it's great. Fantastic. I have no complaints about it. I would absolutely recommend it, and I think it's well worth the money, as long as you get the headrest upgrade. The headrest makes a big difference, so definitely think about that. The switch will bend first. With these, yeah, you'll break the switches before you break these. Yeah, absolutely. The thermal really is delicious. I should get the headrest. You should, Brian, you should. The thermal looks great, right? Look how nice that is. I've not stopped using this board since I built it, which doesn't always happen when I build boards. Often they just get put to one side, but the thermal hasn't left my desk since I built it. The combo is incredible, right? Right? Like, how good does HHKB dual shot look on here? The only thing I need to do is put an LED under the power button for caps lock, although it's actually control, so but I do need to put like an LED under there and program it so when you press and hold the LED lights up. That'd be quite cool. So yeah, that's the next step, but yeah, it looks great, like, even on the reverse side as well. Yeah, big fan of that, board. I've always wanted to get a thermal since I initially saw a build of it like 2 years ago. Yeah. I bought it in the group buy as soon as it came up, and I don't regret it. Porcupine says, hi Jane. I don't know who Jane is, but hey. Thermal top is nice. Not a big fan of the side. Like, I really like the side. These vents, perfection. Anyone who was around in the 80s just loves this style, I think. I think that's the difference. Top Clack, it me, Jane. No, Jane's over there. Okay, let's have a look at the board. Oh, the side profile, you mean? Yeah, side profile's alright. How often do you get down on the desk and look at the side profile of it? Rob Shred, thank you very much for the tier 1 subscription. 7 months, dude. Thank you. And he says, heyo, everyone. Heyo. Okay. I have opened this and looked at it before, so I'm not seeing this part for the first time. But here is the MK-76 Fat Boy. You can see it's got a top plate with a seam all around it. It has a pen rail as well, which is nice. Always love a pen rail. This is actually the mounting system in here, so we need to actually take all of this out, as well as the 2 daughter boards. These are custom daughter boards that this uses. So I think the first job will be to take the case apart and to take all of these out and have a look at them. But young Zephyr was asking to see EPBT set that just came in this week, so I thought I'd show you guys that first. So in before a 6-hour stream. Yeah, I've promised to build stream every night this week, but in reality it's just going to be me finishing this one board. That's all it's going to be. But yeah, the mounting system is basically all of these parts with these pins in the base, with all of that, and one of those little plates as well somewhere. There's like a little plate in here, and that. That's the mounting system. All of those onto a plate and a PCB assembly with that. So, yeah. Russ, behave, Russ. So we're not going to use these, so I'm going to put those to one side, but we are going to use the carbon fiber ones. We don't need one of the PCBs, so that can go to one side. We'll just need that one. I'm probably not going to use the carbon fiber top, but let's keep out the back piece and a switch plate. I don't know what that's for. I need to have a look at it. I feel it might be to support Alps, but hey, who knows? We'll work it out later on. Okay, so there we go. But before we do that, let's take a look at the new EPBT set that came in. So these, I got like part of my shipment of these due. I was due a couple of hundred sets, but I've got like 10 in at the minute. And this is, it's for rotary encoders, so you can just have a board full of rotary encoders. Nice. That sounds good to me. So this is EPBT Retro Cyrillic. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit. This is EPBT Retro Cyrillic. And this just came in the other day. So there we go. Looks pretty nice. Ugly, says Porcupine. Fair man, fair. DJJ in the club. You actually get like 2 trays of this. It has a load of cool extra keys as well. Shame there's no red ISO enter. That would have been nice. But hey, I can't complain. There's a spare tray in here as well if anyone has additional keys they want to put in. So there you go, guys. This is actually really, really nice. Like some of the things that they've tweaked and changed on the set, like the legends on backspace look pretty nice. Yeah. A couple of other things that I think they've changed this post this set now, but I think the legends on the F and the O, because they're because these are the barred keycaps, they actually moved the sub legends up a little bit. But I think on modern sets they don't do that anymore on like stuff that's going into production now and forwards. But the quality looks really good. So James, thank you very much for the subscription, man. Really, really thank you. But yeah, big fan of this set. I think it's going to look great. It's not going on this board sadly, but I do have a build that it will go on at some point soon, and that's my personal set of EPBT Retro Cyrillic. So Zachary, I hope that was good enough for you. But yeah, really, really happy with that. Can't wait to start shipping orders out for it and getting it into people's hands. So there we go. Okay. Right, zoom back out so you guys can actually see what I'm doing on the desk. Ta-da! Switches, don't need them just yet. Plate, don't need that just yet. PCB and rear plate, don't need those just yet. And don't need those. But what we do need to do is take the board apart. Now, first things first, there is some sellotape that actually goes round onto the anodization. So I'm just going to snip this at the sides and then try and peel it off afterwards. Hopefully it won't damage the anodization. Okay. Maybe it's because I'm not quite old enough for the nostalgia, but I don't really understand the love for this style colorway. Hey man, not everything has to be for everyone. Like, the fact that people like different things is a good thing in the hobby. If everyone only liked the same things, this hobby would be super boring and we would all just have one thing. You don't have to like things just because other people do. So don't ever feel that way, man. Like, if you don't like something, that's fine. That's completely fine. That's completely okay. And you should never feel upset or guilty or worried about that. Joe, if you have a look on the site, it tells you who the designer is, I think. Or it should do. Unless I've forgotten to put it on the site. In which case, I'll tell you if it's not on there. Anarchy says, really wish I'd picked this up now, but forgot about it when the group buy thread went up. But hopefully there'll be another round in the future. Anarchy, I would love there to be more rounds of this in the future. I think it's a great idea for a board. It's a real passion project, and yeah, I'm thoroughly excited to see how it goes forwards, whether there's other rounds or whatever, you know. Like, I could be really picky here and say that it shouldn't have tape on it and stuff like that because tape's bad for anodization and stuff. But do you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna enjoy this. I'll have to get the sticky stuff remover out later on. Porcupine, you'll be banned for venting about the Satisfaction 75. There is nothing to talk about on that topic. Gugon is good stuff. It is. It's really good. I've got a couple of bottles of it in the warehouse, so I'll just tidy up the case. It's not marked the case anywhere, but you can see that there is some residue just here. If I get the light on it, that's just sticky residue. Some Gugon will get that off, no problem at all. Okay, so now we've done that, I found we have a pin. I assume that this dropped out of here. Okay. So the cool thing about this is that this is actually the mounting solution. So this is what the PCB and plate assembly sit on, and then this is mounted into the case. And we'll take a look at how that works when I actually work out how it works. But it's completely customizable and everything else. So I'm excited to take a look at that and work out precisely what we can and can't do with it. But this board is a modder's dream. This is like so fun. Do you know what the big challenge with this board is? I'm not going to have the time to put the effort I really want into playing around with this board. That's going to be my challenge. Okay, so we need a hex driver. And as I said before, this is where I struggle because I'm not going to pick the right size hex driver out until I've picked like 4 screwdrivers out. No, nothing's going to run down. It's just sticky tape. It's stuck on the outside of the case. It's not going to run anywhere or anything like that. I think it's fine. It's only on the outside of the case. I can clean it up afterwards. Wait, is what do you drive, Siska Khan? Me? Or are you asking someone in chat? You must be asking someone in chat. My car list is well known at this point. This is a potential true endgame board. This is the board for people who don't ever know what their endgame is and love to modify and change things. He's making a bun on driver. Oh, a bun. Nice. A bun. Geo and his buns. Whoops. Okay. Side screws as well. Difficult to undo and screw together, but cool anyway. Okay, so now we've undone those screws, we should be able to take off the top cover, and off that comes. So as you can see, this is kind of like an intricately machined part itself. It's got standoffs for all of the different areas of the board, for the macro keys that run across here. Milled thicker on the sides to allow you to screw into it. Very interesting design. You can actually see into the screw holes just here as well. There's like tiny little marks into the screw holes that you can see. Very, very interesting. Then we have some bubble wrap, and then this is where you'll start to appreciate just how much work a designer's got into this board. Every single one of these holes in the base can be or might not be used for mounting depending on how you want to mount things. You can tweak and change to your heart's content and do 1,001 things. There is no right, there is no wrong. This is all customizability, baby. Every single hole is tapped and threaded. There's nubbins for certain points. There's all of the connectors at the top and bottom. And of course there's this huge cavity at the back which you could put all sorts in. So solenoid, maybe? Solenoid is absolutely going to be my choice. I think you should be prepared, Anarchy, for me to reach out and start talking solenoids with you in the next week or two. Okay, now I need a smaller driver. And again, it's going to take me 5 screwdrivers to find it. Is that too small? Yes. too small. I knew this was going to happen. There we go. How does one CNC threading? Well, you can CNC threading with a tap. You can put a tap into a mill and it will do the tapping dynamically. But you can tap them by hand as well if you want to, or you can even use a specialized tapping machine. So there's multiple ways of doing it. I don't know how this was done. Nathan Alphaman, checking out what we're building. Yeah, solenoid is absolutely going in this. Okay. There we go. And that's the back piece taken off. So again, you can see there's some really intricate milling on here. We can actually put different panels on here. So you can actually have 3 or 4 different panels, 3 different panels if you wanted to. Instead of having just one long piece, you could actually absolutely have a panel here, a panel here, and a panel here, and do different things with the panels if you want, which is just so cool. Just really cool. It's just such a nice thing. Pinball machine in the top part. Kakan, if you can dream it, you can do it. I would like to see you do it, Kakan. I'm going to watch out for your build stream where you do that. Okay, so, yeah, somehow what we have to do now, guys, is work out how all of this fits in here. And this is going to be the interesting part, because I'm still not 100% certain on how this all goes together. So let's see if we can work it out. Okay, so there is a build guide, which I'm going to quickly read through on Gmk. He does say the first step is to just build a plate and PCB assembly like you normally would. We can do that. We can absolutely do that. And then you can start to look at the mounting system. So, put those there. We only need one of these. This is all going to be CF. No, maybe eventually. We need IKEA instructions. It does need IKEA instructions. It absolutely does. This is the daughter board. This uses like this huge connector. This is so cool. This is old school. This huge connector to connect to the PCB. I love this. Yankar is a good friend of mine, and yeah, I'm really happy he was working on this, because this is just so cool. Okay. PCB and plate assembly then. Let's take a look. So the PCB is really clean, nice, simple trace lines. There's not a ton of options on here. You can do ANSI or ISO. You can split right shift. You can split left shift. And then that's pretty much it. That's just about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some stabilizers in here. We're going to put some switches and into the plate and into the PCB. And then we're going to see how it all lines up. And we're going to build it ANSI. Yanko does some pretty cool things. If anyone doesn't know, he does the MK-76 too. He also has done quite a few other boards. He did the PCB for the Argyle. He did the Hyper 7 PCBs. So he's done quite a few. Keyboards within keyboards, says Jay Flipside. Yeah, thanks, man. Hyper 7 to ship. Yeah, I didn't get one of the new ones because I gave all of the rights over to MechBoards from everything that I'd done, and Yankar kept the PCB rights and everything. So I wasn't involved in this round whatsoever. So I don't even know if I'm going to get one, if I'm honest, but I would like to. Yeah, the PCB is actually plug and play. Okay, stabilizers. Let's see what we've got in the pot of stabilizers. So we need one for spacebar, we need one for left shift, and we need one for ANSI enter. And that's it. That's all we need. So I'm going to use these ones. Hopefully I have a 7U. I'm pretty sure that this needs a 7U spacebar wire. Yes, so hopefully I can find a 7U wire in here somewhere. There's definitely one there. Okay, so we're probably going to have to use a non-Duroc 7U wire for this, but that's fine. Okay. You can tell when I'm running low on something because I struggle to find all of the screws and everything else I need. And this is going to be where I gave someone that screw the other week for a customer build, and now I'm 1 screw short. Now I'm going to be 1 screw short, aren't I? That's going to be what's going to happen here, guys. I can just see this happening in my head. I'm going to be 1 screw short because I gave a customer a screw. And we looked out. There we go. Okay, we're okay. We're good. We're good. Okay, so we need that as well, and that. Thank you very much, Frostfire, for the subscription. Appreciate that, my man. There we go. Put these parts back in here. A dream of a vertical NC enter PCB. Well, you should reach out to Yanko and you should ask him. Yeah, which is really cool, Anarchy. The fact that you can just switch bits out is really good. Okay, so Yoni Wolf. So technically, if you want to get technical with it, ISO is a word, and the abbreviation ISO should be pronounced as ISO because it's a word under the European International Standards Organization. It's actually registered as a word, so it shouldn't be initialized. However, ANSI or ANSI is not a word. It's technically an initialism, so it should always be pronounced ANSI. So, if you want to be really technical, it should be ISO and ANSI, not ISO and ANSI or ISO and ANSI. But hey, it doesn't really matter. You can refer to it how you like because people know what it means in the hobby and the community, and it's all great. It's all just fine. Okay, it's time to lube up some stabilizers. You can use XLR outs if you want. You don't have to. You can do though. The Mayo loop, yeah. This is Crytux 205 grade 2. And it's my favourite loop currently for stabilizers. Just check this is a 7U wire. Yes, it is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is just put a nice amount of lube on the wire, going round the corner as well. Make sure you get a nice even coverage. And then we're going to insert that into the stabilizer housing. Just check that that works, and then move on to the other side. So the idea with this case, Frostfire, is that you can actually change it and modify it however you want. So if you want to use XLR outputs, you can do. As it stands, this board will use standard USB-C out for how I build it today, but that might change in the future. Okay, there we go. Now we've done that, we're just going to make sure we've got a thin amount of lube on the brush and just lube a really thin layer on the sliders. Then we're going to do the same on the other side. Don't want to add too much here because we're not trying to make it gum up or anything like that. We're just trying to make it slippery smooth. And then the last thing we're going to do is just going to take a small blob and pop it in the rear of the stabilizer. And then that way, as the wire moves around a little bit, there's going to be some more lube at the top of the shaft, ready to work its way down. Why does talking about keyboards always sound rude? Don't know why, but it does. Okay, we're going to pop that straight into the PCB. Really interesting concept. Yeah, the whole board is a really interesting design, man. You can do so much or so little with this. it's untrue. And today we're just going to be doing the bare minimum. I'm just going to be building this. But over time, I want to add a solenoid, and I want to do some other bits and pieces as well. Maybe not do the XLR cable, but there is some other type of connector compounds out there that I'd like to try putting into a keyboard. And this is the perfect test bed for them. This is like the perfect opportunity for me to do just that. This is a modder's paradise. And Anarchy, if you are sad you missed out on this, if you ever want to check this out, then you're more than welcome for me to send this over to you. You need to take a look at the board and have a play around with it and do whatever you like with it, to be honest. I'm more than happy to do that. What lube is that? It's 205 grade 2. It's Krytox 205 G2 is the lube. Okay. How do I like the thermal? It's really good, man. I've been using it for a whole week now. Well, 2 weeks, sorry, 2 weeks now, and nothing else has gone on my desk since I built it. So I've got to say I'm really, really enjoying it. It's everything I hoped it would be. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. Absolutely. Kakan, if you would like some hand cream, I'm more than happy to send you some. Okay. So just lubing up the last stabilizer. I do fancy some vanilla flavored ones. Nice. I think Krytox would taste quite salty if I'm honest, just from the smell of it. Thermal's a great board. Yeah, it's really nice. DualShock looks good too. Yeah, man, like DualShock is really good. Like I slept on the set and was lucky enough to get it in extras. So yeah, like I can completely understand people missing out on DualShock and being unhappy about it. It's a very good set. Max Live, thank you very much, Max, for joining. 92 people joining. Hey guys, thanks for joining to the stream. Today we're building an MK-76 Fat Boy, which is really exciting. So thank you very much, guys, for joining and sharing with me. Oh, look at all the faces. At the minute, we're just in the process of lubing some stabilizers with 205 grade 2. All those faces. And then once we've done this, we will be continuing to build the Fat Boy. I'm going to put this lube away now. There we go. Thanks, man. Thanks, Max, for the stream, for joining with the raid, sorry. And yeah, we will enjoy the rest of the stream. You go ahead and do whatever you need to do, man. But I genuinely appreciate you raiding, dude. And I appreciate everyone who's joined as well. Thanks very much, guys, for being here. Not that I didn't appreciate everyone who's already watching as well before anyone comments that. I appreciate every single one of you. Okay, that's all the stabilizers in. Let's just screw those down, lock them in. remember guys, whenever you're screwing stabilizers in, you don't want to go too tight. You're literally just trying to hold the stabilizer in place. You're not trying to crush the PCB, so you just want to go just tight, just finger tight. We know there's still a favourite, says Kakan. Who's that then? Who's the favourite? Lang's not on stream today. He's not watching today. No, I don't do favourites, guys. I don't do favourites. That would be unfair of me and unprofessional. He's always watching. Lana likes stick. Hey. Okay. Last 2 screws, and then we can start to look at getting some switches into the board. And then, once we've soldered in the switches, we can start to work out exactly how this crazy-ass mounting system goes together. For those that you've just joined, I'll show you the MK-76 in 1 second. This board has quite possibly the most wonderful, weirdest, and wackiest mounting system you've ever seen. So this is the board. You can check out the group buy thread on GCAC, MK-76 Fatboy. But every single one of these holes inside this case is a potential mount point. So you can change exactly how the case is fixed. You can change how the PCB and plate assembly are mounted. You can change the way that the PCB and plate is mounted into the frame that goes into this with different O-rings as well. So you can completely mod and change the whole look, feel, sound, profile of the board, apparently. Now, the interesting thing is we need to work out how that actually works. Because we haven't got that far yet, but we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. The first step is to build the plate and PCB assembly. We've just finished lubing and installing our stabilizers, so now we're going to install our switches. Now these are OG Holy Pandas that I built years and years ago when the Holy Panda craze was probably at its height. So this might take a few minutes because these are going to be really, really tight to put into this plate. And then once we've done this, we can start to solder the whole thing together, and then we can work out how the mounting system works. $5 each. Yeah, I didn't pay that much for them because I had the Pandas already, but yeah, they were not cheap back in those days. They probably were retailing for $5 a piece on the aftermarket. Thumb killer. Yep, absolutely, man. This is going to be where I have blisters on my thumbs for the next couple of days. Now, you guys need to keep me honest here as well. If you see me using any of the glorious Holy Pandas, because there's 2 or 3 of the glorious Holy Pandas in this bag, just call it out. You can see the stem color's different, so if you see that I put one in by mistake, just call it out. These are really tight already. The thing with putting Holy Pandas in plates like this as well is that the more you put in, the tighter the rest of the plate gets because it moves ever so subtly. So everything else has to become tighter and tighter as well. That thermal looking really nice in the corner there. Thank you, man. Thank you. I just pre-ordered Rama U80 Moon Stealth. Now it's just a wait and hope for GMK Dots R2. That'll be a nice combination when it comes in, man. I think Dots will get a second run at some point. I'd be very surprised if that wasn't on Beep's radar already. But I have no insider information, I'm afraid. Alright, my thumb is already starting to feel this. Like, I have the impression of a switch in my thumb already. And it's already broken the skin. And I've done like 1/3 of the switches. Nice. Is Everglide and Durex stabs the same? They're very, very similar. I think there's some slight differences between them, but they're very similar. In usage, I'd be very surprised if anyone could tell the difference between the two. And I think you need some very up close photography to tell the difference as well, as far as I'm aware. I'd like to get another board soon, probably sometime around July of 2021, and hopefully it will be an LZ CLS. Nice, nice. I've had a couple of LZ boards in the past. They're really nice boards. How do I like the thermal? The thermal's really, really good. I've been thoroughly enjoying using it. Like, I haven't done a build stream for nearly 2 weeks, and that was the last board I built on stream, and that's not left my desk since. So, which is unusual for me because nearly all of my streams are personal builds, and I like to get a lot of use out of the boards when I build them. So the fact that nothing else has come and taken its place is testament to how good it is. You can use the !build command to see what we're building today. It would help if I was actually typing in chat. There you go. And Vapor got there before me. There we go. Yeah, we've already had a look at EPBT Retro Cyrillic, which came in earlier this week to my warehouse. And now we're just building the fat boy, the MK-76. Thick boy. You could say that. You could absolutely say that. Alright, okay. We're almost halfway through the Switch installations now. Some of these switches are so tight. There we go. So what was Max building then, guys? What board did Max build today? I didn't catch his stream earlier. Anything interesting? Anything cool? Key cult. Nice. I still have my personal key cults build. It's been sat in my cupboard for about 3 months now. I just never got around to building it. I should really get onto that at some point, maybe this week, if I find the time. Okay, feeling a bit of a rhythm now with these switches. Hopefully it won't take us too much longer to get these installed, and then we can start some soldering. Do I know how many Island and Novelties extras there'll be? A few. I don't know exactly how many, but a few. It depends on things like orders missing and stuff like that, and it's going to be different across all of the vendors and stuff. So like for me, there's going to be enough. I think. I don't think it's going to sell out like immediately, but who knows, it might be. Really glad I could watch this this stream even if we are almost at the same time zone. Well, I'm in the UK, man, so my time zone is that it's just about 9 PM here. Okay. That's Glorious Holy Panda, so we don't want to use that. Okay. My thumb is not happy about all of these switches, I'll be honest with you. But we're almost there now. Almost there. Not too many more to go. Have I seen the Chernobyl HBO miniseries? Yeah, I saw that a couple of years ago when it came out, or maybe it was only last year. I can't remember, but yes, I have seen it. It's a very good series. And Chernobyl as a whole kind of concept and historical kind of event is really interesting to me. Like how it happened, why it happened, and how it affected the future of the nuclear power stations around the world after that, and safety guards and stringency and everything else. It's kind of an interesting topic. Okay. Almost there now, guys. Just a few more switches to go. Man, these switches hurt my thumbs. Why did I think this was a good idea? Why did I decide to use these? That's another thing you want. What on earth made me put these in this board? GMK J-Joe. Captain Ladies Man, is that a thing? Is that a thing? Could it be a thing? Should it be a thing? Okay, last one. Last one. There we go. Okay. Okay, right. So, we're almost ready to start to solder. The next thing I need to do is just make sure that this all fits together properly. And this should just drop together now, assuming there's no bent pins anywhere. Everything should just fall in place. It's not quite working. That must mean we have a bent pin or two. Just having a look down the board now, making sure they're all straight. Okay, so that should now just sit straight on there. And there we go, guys. That's all set on nice and neat and tidy. So the next job to do is to start to solder this together. Now that does mean, guys, that it's free question time. So you guys can tag me using @TopClack, and you can ask any question you like. As long as it's stream safe, I will do my best to answer. You can ask any question at all, whether it be about life, my day job, it can be about keyboards, it can be about prototypists, it can be about anything at all. And as long as I can answer it in line with Twitch policy, I will answer it, guys. I will be as open as honest as I can about any questions that you ask. So all you need to do is tag me with @TopClack, and I'll answer any question you like. Assuming anyone's got any of those questions to ask, of course. Usually you guys do have questions, so I'm gonna imagine you will do. You can ask me anything you like. Car collection, keyboard collection, love life, you name it, guys. I'm open as I can be, as an open book, if you will. I'm just going to solder a few switches, one in each corner of the board, and then one in the center, just to hold everything together nice and neatly whilst I do the rest of the soldering. And hopefully you guys are going to get some questions in whilst I do that. Come on. That one does not want to solder. Okay, just going to do one in the center. Okay, so let's get some questions in chat. Come on, guys, let's get some questions going in chat. I know the bearded king asked about island novelties earlier on. The real answer to that is I don't know yet, but I will do in the near future. Captain Ladies Man says, have you built a JO2 yet? So yes, I have. I've built 3 JO2s, but all of those are prototypes. In terms of the actual production boards I have 3 personal ones that came in a couple of weeks ago. I've actually shipped out all of the limited edition boards that came through me, but I haven't actually built any of my personal production boards yet, no. So they are absolutely in my build stream to do, or in the build queue to do. One of them will be one night this week coming. I'm not sure which night yet. I also have another customer's limited edition to build as well. And then the second of my 3 personal boards is going to Stashed, because Stash is going to build my personal board as well. And that's going to be at some point in the near future too. And the third one, I haven't even decided what I'm going to build it with or how it's going to be built yet. So that board is just going to lay unbuilt until I decide. Or maybe I'll give it away. Who knows? Sky12121 says, has your experience in making the J0 boards impacted your appreciation for boards in general? Yes, 100%. So learning about manufacturing, learning about design and all of the steps involved, it makes you appreciate things a lot more when you look at an interest check or a group buy and you can kind of see certain things that you've learned and they're already doing. It's like, okay, so I can see why they've done that, and you know, you can kind of start to get a feel for why the price might be as it is, or where you think that, you know, something's really good quality and people might just miss that sometimes. Of course, you can always see other sides of it as well, such as where people have missed things and they've misunderstood how things might work, or where they've perhaps been a little bit naive and maybe haven't worked out exactly how they're going to run their group buy or their board. And it really depends on the product, but yeah, you get an appreciation for other people's work and how much effort's gone into it as well. It really does change how you view group buys and how you view a lot of the products on the market. I hope that helps. Zapri says, favourite out of Modern Dolch, Oblivion, OG Dolch, and Dual Shot. Oblivion with the Hagoramo alphas, that's the white alphas. That's by far my favourite of those. Porcupine says, what's your favourite mat at the minute? So at home, not here at the workshop, I've actually been repping the Dark Archetype mats. So I think it's called Dark Summit. That's probably my favourite right now. But I do also really like the one I'm using here as well, which is the Constellation desk mat from the Midnight Rainbow group buy. This was designed by Novel Keys. I think it was either Wendell or Corey, I'm not sure, but one of the guys at Novel Keys designed this particular mat, and I've been a huge fan of it. The Architect mats are really nice as well. The Dark Summit one is just darks and blacks and greys, and it just works really well in my home office. So yeah, big fan of those. But I have a warehouse full of desk mats right now, so it's not easy to pick. What's my favourite snack? Depends on if I'm in a savoury or a sweet mood. If I'm in a savoury mood, I really like what we call in the UK as crisps. In the US, you probably call them chips. Especially the kind of like salted pretzels you can get. The mini salted pretzels are about so big, about an inch across. They're so good. If I'm looking for something sweet, then I like a nice chocolate bar usually. I'm not really fussy as to which one it is. Just something sweet wrapped in chocolate is always good for me. Mars bar, Snickers, you name it, I probably like it. Milky Way, a finger of fudge, which I actually have one of here. Finger of fudge, these are good. These are really good. Nostalgic34 says, what's the worst thing about dealing with manufacturers overseas? Manuals will always say yes, they can achieve this or that, but how can you really tell? Prototypes. You order a prototype. It's simple as that. You order a one-off of what they say they can deliver, and you see how they deliver it. Sometimes there are problems challenging scaling that up. So you can have challenges. They can do a one-off and it's great, but then you try and do 10 or 100 or 1,000, and things start to go wrong, or failure rates start to increase. But yeah, you prototype. Dealing with manufacturers isn't that bad. The language barrier sometimes doesn't help, but there's ways and means around that. You just have to be really open with communication and really clear as well. Make sure that both sides understand each other, and if you're not sure, just ask questions. It's difficult, man. It's not easy. But you have to be 100% sure you know what you're getting, and you have to be 100% sure that they've understood you. Did I get a personal set of Islander? Yes, I did. It's actually on a board right beside of me. So this is my KVD 67 in chocolate brown, and this is Islander. There you go. Probably Cootie's had to go. See you later. Thanks, man. I won't be still on in 10 hours. Doing my first hand wire today. Wish you luck. Good luck, man. Hand wiring is not for the faint of heart, but it's a great project if you can pick that up. I haven't done a hand wire build for ages, but I really should. TV says, as a vendor, how do you see the effects of COVID on the mechanical keyboard market? So honestly, like, I only started becoming a vendor towards the back end of last year. I originally started the company registration in April, the first week in April in 2019. But my mum had just passed away, and kind of like I wasn't in a good space mentally, and things just took a little while to get off their feet. So realistically, I think we became incorporated just about a year ago on the 15th of November last year. And like things started slow, as they do for most vendors, but quickly got busier and busier and busier. It's done nothing but grow, to be honest, over the course of 2020. Everything's just got bigger, and we've sold more, and every month's done better than the previous month, in terms of just about everything. So COVID hasn't really affected me from that perspective, but I didn't really have a baseline before COVID to go by, so it's not something I can easily answer. All I can say is it's going well. Things are going from strength to strength, and it's enabling me to do more and more and more stuff for the hobby. Help more people make prototypes, pay for people to have prototypes made, help people get stuff to group buy, pay for my own projects. I don't take anything personally out of prototyping, so I don't take a salary or a cut of the profits or anything else like that. I don't take any money out of it whatsoever, but it does help me to move some of my projects, so I can get prototypes for new boards and help other people out, and yeah, it's all going well from that perspective. Switch Doctor says looks awesome. I assume you meant the Islander. Islander came out really, really good. It's genuinely really good. I'm really, really happy with it, and as I have it on one of my personal boards that's just there. Cyber Sam says, how many boards and cap sets do you currently have, and are there any boards that you no longer have that you really wish you hadn't let go? I can't give you a straight answer to the first two parts of that question. I genuinely do not know how many keyboards I own or how many cap sets I own. I'm going to guess keyboards is in the region of about 200 custom keyboards. Maybe slightly less, maybe 200 including like vintage stuff as well and things like that. In terms of keycap sets, well over 100. Mostly GMK, but some SA and other bits and pieces included in there as well. But again, I don't have a definitive number. Like I haven't counted. I don't have a tracker. I just either have or don't have stuff. If you follow me on my Instagram stories, you'll quite often see my personal collection, because it's all sat in the unit in the warehouse, and it's all kind of like, quite often I'll be doing stuff with that as well during the day. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you will likely see a lot of the collection that way. How do I store all of them? They're all stored all over the place. Like, there's some on the shelf behind me, there's some on the shelf just there as well. So on the shelves here, we've got, on the top we've got JO2, Anzi, Petrov's, Allison, we've got a TX60, we've got a Profit, and we've got a Noxry 268AG. Then on the bottom at the front, we've got a Fiel, an Ocelot Macropad, and an Equinox 40%. And then behind that, we've got a Sirius POM 60%. We've got a Borsdorf 65%, and then we've got the TGR Jane V2CE. I've also in here got just this board here, that is the Iron 165 FE. We've got the thermal, I've got the KBD 6070 you saw a second ago, and then of course the Fat Boy. I think that's everything in here for keyboards. But then out in the warehouse, I've got everything's in boxes and drawers and stuff like that. So yeah, they're all over the place. Storesness says favorite subclass. Favorite class and subclass in D2. So Like, I don't put as many hours into D2 as I did into D1. In Destiny 1, my favorite was by far Hunter Shadowstalker. I haven't played Hunter in D2 much at all yet. I tend to main Warlock at the minute because I just don't have the time to put in 3 classes and do 6 raids a week and whatever else and stuff like that. So I tend to just play on my Warlock, and I tend to play as the tend to play on Void as Devour. That's what I tend to go as, the Devour, where you can consume the grenade and increase health, and then a kill keeps you going and increases your health. That tends to be what I do, especially in PvP. I find that incredibly useful. Porcupine says, will I be getting an Iron 180? Yes, it's actually shipping out to me in the next couple of days. So I got confirmation from Baron earlier on today that it would ship out to me in the next couple of days. So yes, it's on the way. Don't they collect dust that way? Well, the ones in the warehouse are all in their boxes, or they're in a series of drawers, or they're wrapped up, or whatever. The ones in here, these are cleaned every time the office is cleaned. So this is like actually the production office for the company. So this is where all of the work actually gets done as well. So the cleaner comes in and cleans all this kind of stuff. So everything's okay. And even if they get dusty, just put some compressed air in there. I've got the compressor in the workshop with a hose attachment, so I can quite easily just blast all of them with some compressed air if they get too much dust and I need to clean them out. Okay, any last questions? Now's the time to ask, guys. Just tag me at TopClack. You can ask me anything. Love, life, cars, jobs, work, you name it, guys. You can ask me. Thoughts on certain scientific topics? I don't care. Ask me whatever you like. If I can answer it, I will, as long as it's Twitch safe. Okay. Thoughts on the future of GMK? Glasses with the big hitting questions. Hey man, good to see you, dude. We need to have a chat about your J1 actually as well. We need to have a chat about that. Thoughts on the future of GMK? So GMK is scaling up their production slots at the minute. I think as the hobby becomes more and more mainstream, there's going to be other keycap manufacturers coming into play. We're already seeing that with the likes of Infinikey and EPBT stepping up their game into ABS. JTK is making some moves as well. They're starting to do more and more. I think we'll see that increase over time. I think GMK themselves, though, they'll expand, they'll increase. I hope their times will become shorter, but I think the GMK phenomenon is not going to stop. It's not going to slow down. There will be more and more GMK sets that are going to come out. There's going to be, hopefully, there'll be some more improvements to what GMK can offer over the course of time as well. But they're just going to go from strength to strength, man. Like, 30% of their business as a company is custom keycap sets now. So, you know, that's pretty big. That's enough for them to start to take notice on the real scale and start to do things specifically for this community rather than just be another manufacturer we can approach. So I think that's gonna happen. My Astra is on the way out. What should I replace it with? Vauxhall Astra. What's your budget, Sky? Give me a budget and I will tell you what car you should replace it with. Porcupine, do you have any questions for us? Sure. Chat. Everyone in chat. Okay, question for everyone in chat. What do you guys think the next mounting style will be? We've seen the rise of tray mount move to top mount and then to be modified to burger mount, and then we've seen the rise of gasket mount. What's next? What comes after gasket mount? That's to anyone in chat. Feel free to answer, anyone. We've already done bottom mount Xiao. That's been done with things like the Canoe Gen 1. That's already out there and exists. Fried chicken mount, secondhand car for 2K. So what do you need it for, Sky? Is it just for you, or have you got a family? Do you have kids? Do you have a dog? Barbecue sandwich, maglev. Like, I think magnet mount is going to be like a niche thing. Like, there's not going to be many boards that do it. I know there's like 6 or 7 people developing for it, including myself and Flex, but I don't think that's the future of keyboards. Like, what's going to be as big as gasket mount? You like to be able to the space to move music gear around, but it's not essential. Okay, so I would look for something like a 10 or 12 year old Volvo estate, because they are insanely quick if you get the one with the right engine. They're reliable, they're mechanically sound, they're great to handle in the snow. And do you know what? That as boxy estate car, they actually look pretty cool. I would look for a 10 or 12-year-old Volvo estate. There you go. Thermal mount, nice. Hopes and dreams mount, ferrofluid mount. Hot take: everyone will go back to top mount. That's probably the closest real answer, Glasses. That's you say that's a hot take, but do you know what? I think you might be right. I think top mount might be something that comes back around again, guys. I wouldn't disagree with that. Top mount, there's nothing wrong with it. It works. It's tried, true, and tested. Okay, there we go, guys. Soldered together. No mount. Keyboards will be dead, right? Keyboards are going to die. No one's going to be using a keyboard as a typing interface in 10 years' time. Top mount leaf spring is fire. Yeah, I don't disagree. More innovations in plate design and materials. Yeah, more materials is actually going to be key, Glasses. I think you're absolutely right. You're the only one taking this question seriously, it seems like. No one will drive a stick shift too. I will always drive a stick shift until I go to electric, which might be sooner than I've previously let on, actually. Next year might be the year of going to electric for my daily driver, but I'll still always have manual cars. Mr. Petrov, good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining. There's no such thing as late when you're that happy to see me. Okay. Zrees here saying, God damn it, 150 gram linear is best linear. So I used a daily board that was 125 grams, and I had no issues with that. Apart from the fact that I used to get this weird pain in my fingers after about an hour of typing, but I just carried on, forced through it. Okay, right. So now we've done that. The next thing to do is apparently to put the mounting plates on the rear of these. Now, this is going to be the tricky bit because I need to work out how this goes. So just for reference, guys, this is the image. Go take a look at the topic there. You can see the image down there. I need to work out how these actually sit on here and how this works. Okay. So, take these out. And that sits there like so. And then we just need to put rubber rings in there. Okay, let's just go with a standard mount choice for this to start off with. Yuki-Okis, thank you very much for the raid. 2 raids in one day. Thanks, guys, for joining. 33 of you. Lux Cables, Key Warrior, thanks, guys. We're building an MK-76 Fatboy, so thank you very much for joining. A whole lot of gang stuff. Nice. Nice to have you guys here, gang. Thank you very much for joining, guys. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. We out here. Nice. So we're actually building the Mark 76 MK-76 Fatboy, and we're trying to work out how it actually goes together. So for those of you who don't know, I did post the link just above the thread on Geekhack for this, so we can actually work out how this is mounted, because basically every single hole you see on the inside of the case here can be used for mounting if you want it to be, or it doesn't have to be. So someone said building this keyboard would probably drive me nuts. It's driving me nuts, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Anarchy actually did says the board that Jay is building has a new mount, so anything is possible as long as the right people are innovating in the hobby. Anarchy, that's so true. That's so true. Want to buy thermal? That one's not for sale unless you guys want to spend, I don't know, $250,000. Then we might look at it. That's a joke. It's not really for sale at all. Okay, so as far as I understand it, what we need to do is we need to put an O-ring above and below. So, and then we put the pin in. Okay. So what we're trying to do is make sure that it's all correct. And then we're just going to shove the next O-ring in here, if that's going to work. push that all the way through. There we go. That's one in. Sorry guys, I can't watch chat and look at this at the same time. This is so complex to put together. There we go. So that's 2 mount points in. But as far as I know, we only need to put 2 in at any one point. Monopoly money ready? Nice, man. How do I like the thermal? It hasn't left my desk since I built it, man. It is really good. Like, really, really good. I don't have money I didn't spend today, so all good. That's a good way of looking at life, man. If you didn't spend money you don't have, that's a sign of a reasonable day, I would say. Okay. So install another O-ring. Push that through. Install the bottom O-ring. And then push all the way through. And then we're going to do the same just up here. And this is just the standard way to mount it. Like guys, we can do things in entirely different ways on this if we really want to. Like, we don't have to use this way of mounting it. So that's the front mounting system installed. Now to do the back one. Frostfire, yeah, you need to find that. These are not drop Holy Pandas. No, these are original Holy Pandas right back from when they were first invented by Brian, who is my co-host on Top Clack. So these were manually made, probably back in 2017 now. And these were actually the first Holy Pandas that I put together. This board is something else in terms of its build process. Okay. I'm really tempted to go back and watch the episode on Top Clack where we actually talked about this board for the first time, just to see how I commented on it and what I said, because I have no idea. I probably said it was really cool, but I thought it was impossible to do for a reasonable price, and here I am a couple of years later actually putting it together. It's kind of insane. Carpet is an interdimensional portal for screws. Yeah, so get a sock, put it over the end of your vacuum cleaner on the nozzle, and then just run the nozzle over the carpet with the vacuum turned on. That should find it for you. Oh no. Russ saying by Mr. Holy Panda himself. No, I built these ones, but like it was at the time when Brian discovered them, so make of that what you will. I know you will anyway, dude. Not all screws are magnetic though, so that's the thing. But yes, you're right. If you can just run something that is magnetic if they are magnetic screws. There we go. Okay, so the mounting system is done. Whew. That was a bit of effort. Let's try and pop all these screws. Oh, in fact, actually, I'm probably going to need the screws, but I'm probably not going to need the rest of these pins. Space Cable's watching. Is Regan here? Hey man, good to see you, dude. Looking forward to the 4th as well. Okay. So that's that bit done. The next job then that we have to do is we actually have to clip the controller board onto the back of the PCB. So this is nice and simple. That's that done. And that's how the DOS board connects. Okay, so once that's done, we need to place the post pins in the case as follows. Oh man. Okay. So we do actually need the rest of these pins, because what we're going to do now is we're going to install these in the tray of the case. It's like a game card. This whole build is kind of insane. Like, It's so cool, but it's kind of just insane a little bit. Okay, so now we've put the main part of the board together, we need to take the bottom case, and then what we need to do is install these pins into the case like so, and make sure we put them in the right spot. And we also need to put O-rings on them as well. So this is where it's almost kind of like a gasket mount, pseudo gasket mount. And then where these are going to go is effectively these are going to pin these mount points in through the top case. Being like a game cartridge, you're absolutely right. It really is. Like this is just something else. This is way outside of anything else we usually build here on Top Clack. This is just so cool. Have you ever infilled? I'm tempted to give it a go. Yeah, I have a guide up on the Top Clack website if you want to take a read of that, or if not, you can take a look at my my profit build a couple of months ago. You should be able to find that on YouTube. Just YouTube and then search for Top Clack Profit, and you should be able to find the build where I did that. I've done it on stream a number of times. I did it on my Alice on stream at one point, and a few other boards as well. But yeah, I've infilled maybe 100 boards for people as well. I've done it quite often. Okay. Now the beautiful thing about this board is that all of these mounting points that I'm putting in here, we can take these away and change them and do whatever we want with them. We don't have to use them. So we could completely make this feel and sound very different quite quickly. Okay, that's all of those installed. The next job is to install the tray into the trough and line everything up. So let's see if we can do that in one movement. Okay, so that looks like it's pretty much in place at the front. Let me just check this is in place at the rear. Okay, there we go. That is fully installed. That's actually got some nice bounce to it. It's difficult to show you guys, but it's actually got a little bit of bounce to it. Nice. Okay. Okay, let's see what the next step is. Screw in the controller mount to the case. Wait, what? How the hell does that work? So the controller mount. Oh, I see. So what we can do is okay, so the controller mount actually has to go underneath this, which it won't quite do at that angle. There we go. That's the controller mount in place. So I'm going to screw that down. I assume we're going to use some of the short screws for this. There we go. So Teclados, thank you very much for the raid. There's 3 raids in one stream, guys. What's going on? What is going on? I didn't check the USB-C connection, jack static. No, I can check it later on. It looks okay, but I can check it later. That's fine. Man, 3 raids. Brazilian invasion by Mr. Keebs. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Keebs. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Thank you. I think I saw you building one of these yesterday, although I couldn't watch the stream. I'm pretty sure I saw you building exactly the same board. So, GOM, is this Quakeham's streaming partner, the Mr. Holy Panda streaming partner? Yes, it is, Geo. Yes, it is. Everyone wants to see the Fat Boy, obviously. Man, I think it is this board. Everyone loves this board. Okay, so this is really cool, actually, guys. So from here, I can show you. This is how the mounting system looks. So you can see that it's just kind of crazy in there. A ton of O-rings, a ton of mount points. It's kind of bouncy to type on, and it's really just genuinely interesting. Okay, next job is actually to screw on the assembly here. So the next job I have to do is to screw through here and then hold the bolt in place. I should have done this before putting it in, I think. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should have done this before putting the bolt in. Let's see if we can use these flush cutters to hold this in place. I suspect not. I suspect these aren't going to open wide enough. Nope. But the new Morgri tweezers could come in perfectly handy for this. One would think. Perhaps not quite there. Okay, let's try just pinning it in place with a finger. There we go, that worked. So what we're doing here is screwing the daughterboard PCB to the plate that's underneath it. And then it's just going to hold everything down and hold everything together nice and neatly. Please don't be hollow sounding. Do you know what? It doesn't really matter what this board sounds like. This board, it doesn't matter at all in one slightest bit what this board sounds like, because the fun of this board isn't in its sound or anything else. It's in its design. This is going to, if there's any of these screws I'm going to struggle to hold in place, it's going to be these ones at the bottom, at the back. I could have done with getting some little spanners out, I think. And then this one is going to be the hardest of the lot, I suspect. Because I have to reach my finger all the way under. So I think if I was doing this again, I would change the build guide on this slightly. Just to make it a little bit easier to put this together. And I'd do this step before putting it in the case. But I'm not taking it apart now. I have one last try, and if we can't get this screw in, I'm just going to leave it out. No, it's not going to have it. I can't quite reach that one. That's fine. We'll just leave that one scrap. Doesn't have to be user-friendly, man. This board is incredibly difficult. Retro Cyrillic extras. Yeah, I'll have some Retro Cyrillic extras in a couple of weeks, man. On the 14th is when I plan to put them up. Just found out about the British show Taskmaster recently. Yeah, it's good. Mindless fun to have in the shop. Yeah. Taskmaster is a great show. Okay, so let's assume I've got that screw in and that's all fine. The next job is to attach a USB cable. Okay, so I do have one here. And it needs to route through the center. So I'm actually tempted to just not use the routing for this and not put the back panel on today, and just test this as part of the actual build, because the so the USB-C, Jack's I think the USB-C does look a little bit loose, but it works. It works. Let's jump up switch here and let's just test this. Let's just see how well it works. If I share that on screen, you guys can see it as well. Let's just make sure that all of the keys do work. Okay, everything's working so far. That key's not working, but it is coming up on the on switch here as though it's doing something. So the matrix is working, the key's just not programmed. Okay, enter's not working, interestingly. Nothing from enter, but everything else looks like it's okay. That'll be FN, I suspect. Okay, so the only key that's not working is the enter key. I can live with that because I can fix that later on. But yeah, Jenks. Okay, so now I've noticed that the USB-C is very loose. I'm going to be very gentle with it here. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, so then let's see what else is to be done. Close up the board. Okay, so the next job is to just close up the board, which means we just need to take the top case, push that down, and then take the original screws and slot them back in the sides. Existential Leo says Taskmaster is delightful. Taskmaster's great, man. It's a good show. Greg Davies makes it. If Greg Davies wasn't on it, it would not be as good. Chris Bezic is here. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Well, yes, I do, but the problem is this cable's kind of fixed to this desk. It actually routes through the desk at the back, so I don't want to use this cable for it. So I'm just going to close it up, and we can do a typing test with it all closed up. That's fine. The thing is, I actually want to change the back panel. So I had a carbon fiber back panel made, and you can see the groove in the middle where the cable should come out. The cable should come through there. But what I actually want to do is probably put a Lemo connector, like a surface mounted Lemo connector on the back, and then just have a cable made for it over time, and then I'll just screw on the back piece there. So that's probably what I'm going to do in the long term, but it isn't going to live in here anyway. It is going to live in my workshop, which is just behind me in the warehouse. So whilst I appreciate that, yes, I would need to leave the cable inside, I'm not going to do that just now because this board isn't going to live with that cable. That cable's actually for a number of other jobs. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going to. I might Cerakote this board actually. I might get this board Cerakoted a different color, but I think I'm definitely going to route some cables through on the back. Something similar to a Lemo type connector, I think. I don't think I'm going to go for the XLR type connectors. They're a bit too chunky, but I also definitely want to put a solenoid inside this as well, so it's really chunky and loud when I'm using it in the workshop. Really hear and feel those key presses when all the machinery is running. If your cubes were cars, what cars would they be? As in the J series, something vintage, something 60s with a big wing on the back. 60s, 70s boards with a big wing on that. That's what we're probably looking at realistically. Okay, so there we go, guys. That's the board put together. It now comes down to a choice for chat. You guys can pick what key set we put on this board for now. This might not be the key set that remains on it permanently. Wing. Stop getting your head in the gutter, Mr. Petrov. You know how this goes. I'm not going to put any feet on this board either. I like it just on here. Ursa is not one of the choices. Ursa I have plans for. Those plans do not include this particular board. Oh, I need to put the back on as well, actually. Let's just do that really quickly. The two choices you have, guys, are between GMK ASCII, ASCII, whatever you want to call it. Or, alternatively, I have GMK Firefly. So you guys can pick, type in chat now which you prefer to see on this board. GMK ASCII or GMK Firefly. Let me know what you guys think. Which should it be on this particular board? What music is this? Interesting. I don't remember this one coming up before in the stream, so perhaps we've just never taken this long to stream before. Perhaps. Okay, ASCII, Firefly. Okay. Nearly everyone has said ASCII, so that's what we're probably going to go with. Just comparing the morals and ethics of the key set designers. Hey man, I can't say I go into that much detail when I contemplate what key set I'm going to put on a keyboard. Designers are important, but that's not usually how I determine. Okay, interestingly, my carbon fiber piece doesn't actually fit. Let's see why. We need to put this on the other way around. Is this not quite square? Interesting. Sounds like some future wave. Yeah, it's supposed to be Harry's Heller, the stream beat stuff, because I didn't have a chance to sort out something else I was going to use today instead. But this does not sound like the Harry's Heller stuff that I usually listen to. Mr. Petrov, no, I don't believe they have. I've had my set about 2 months now, but I don't believe Kona have actually started shipping theirs yet. There we go. Could be nice with chunky SA too. It could. I just don't have any SA sets that I want to use on this right now. I have most. Well, I say most GMK sets up since the start of 2017, and probably 30% of the ones that have run since 2017. I don't have that many SA sets though. That thermal sitting there just looking amazing. Thanks, man. Okay, there we go. That's the board all put together. So I think ASCII won the key set choice race. So let's just go with that. So I actually bought this off of Mr. Chris Bezic, who's in chat right now. He sold me this key set not too long back. He actually came for a visit to the workshop as well before we went back into COVID restrictions and lockdown. And he delivered this in person. So thank you very much, Chris, for coming over and delivering it in person. And for those of you wondering what the set looks like, it looks like that. Which kits do you own for ASCII? Just the base. For Firefly, I have pretty much everything. So for Firefly, I've got the Nordic UK kit, the D-Accent kit, and the numpad kit. So I have pretty much everything for Firefly. Where am I from? I'm from the UK, man. West Yorkshire, specifically. West Yorkshire. Well, you say everything should be there. The first thing I noticed that's missing is the escape key and the afros. Chris, have you sold me a dodgy key set? Chris, where's my afro? Luckily, it does have the R0 compact kit. I was just singing Chris's praises, and then half the key set turns out to be missing. I don't know. Chris. They're on the second row. Where? Did I miss them? No, Chris, they're not. Oh dear, I like winding Chris up. We're actually going to use the these ones here that I have in this bit here. These are the R0 ones, so these are the super tool keycaps. No function row. These are the function row keys. These are F2 and so on and so forth. Let's zoom in a little bit and you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. So these are super tool compared to a standard top row on GMK. It is Zappery, yes. That's exactly the joke. As far as I know, it doesn't have normal F-row. I wasn't expecting to see a normal F-row, no. So Ruben Cruz 92. Where do I get parts from? Like most of the main vendors. So Candy Keys, My Keyboard, they're all EU based. Sorry. I have my own store as well, but I won't plug it here. So it just depends. But a lot of stuff that I want, I tend to just buy on the aftermarket or from the vendors directly, or I just buy it from the US vendor or wherever if there isn't any EU place to get it from. So yeah. Sorry, Jax. I was winding Chris up because I wasn't expecting there to be a standard row 1 F row in here. I was just winding him up that the tray's empty. I was fully expecting it to be like this, which is row 0. Sorry, it was a poor joke that I was playing on Chris, trying to make him think that the keys weren't there. Buy it straight from the vendor, energy. Yeah. Well, Glasses, as we know from your video, you just call me when you want something. You just ring me up and you say, give me this, and usually I get it over to you. How did you get this built so fast? WCF. Man, Brian, that means you weren't even watching. So I don't think you deserve an answer if you weren't even watching. Brian, man, I don't know. I tuned in and out. Yeah, whatever. Hey, Unicorn, thanks very much for joining, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, the hobby is harder if you're not in the US. We do actually need to speak Glasses as well because we need to talk about your JO1. So yeah, but like everything's available if you're looking in the right places and you're willing to wait. Like as long as you don't expect things immediately, then you can get pretty much whatever you need in the hobby. The other option as well is starting to look for ways of manufacturing things for yourself, and having plates cut, and I wish things were more accessible in the hobby. They're not, and it's going to take a long time before they become more accessible. But yeah. Glasses JO1. Yeah, well, I kind of semi-sponsor Glasses, so through Prototypist. So we said we'd sort him out a JO1 for all of the things he does. Just don't expect anything. Yeah, I mean, there is a bit of a rampant culture in the hobby where people just expect to be able to have things and then complain when they can't have them. But that's really entitled, and just because a product exists doesn't mean say you have a right to have it. And I know that sounds awful coming from a vendor, but it's kind of like a fact, right? Like there isn't any product on here that anyone deserves to have, and if you can't get it, well, you just move on to the next thing. It's not worth getting salty over. There isn't enough to go around for everyone because everything has to be produced in limited quantities. So you have to get used to that mindset that you won't be able to buy everything even if you have unlimited money. Dark Evan says that 2 null key is triggering Satisfaction 75 R2 entrance. Well, hey man, it was all fair as far as I understand it, from what I understand from Upas's new checkout system. But hey, if people are going to be salty, people are going to be salty. SELQ is here. Hey man, good to see you, dude. If you can't pay for it, then you can't get it. Even if you can pay for it, you can't always get it. That's the thing. Like, you shouldn't just expect to be able to have it. Warm take. I like the look of the KL90, but I'm worried about a non-vendor running a global first-time group buy. Yeah, like that's a challenge. Like, a lot of new vendors need the experience to be able to do group buys and stuff, but they have to have people trust them to be able to do them in the first time. So it's kind of like a dual-edged sword. There's a bit of duality that's going on with that kind of stuff. But I can completely appreciate your point, Mr. Petrov. And of course, if any vendor, or sorry, if any group buy runner wants a hand, they can reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to give them some advice or some commentary or some hands as a vendor to help them on their way. Doesn't mean to say I'll do work for them, but I might be able to point them in the right direction for some things. How fast did 1000 S75 sell out? Like 14 minutes, I think. Nix Clicks, hey man, good to see you, dude. Thank you for talking to me earlier. Thank you, man. The aftermarket is a big pay-to-win game, though. If you have enough money, you can get most things within reason. Yeah, maybe. There's some things that you can't get. There are things on the market that you just can't get, even if you have unlimited money. And that's just the way it is. Like, there's just things that are like that out there. Man, it's so nice to have a key set with row 0 and row 5 on. That's just like so nice. Okay. Should be a 1 year. I was gonna say there should be a 1 year meta key. I like to have a meta key on here if I can. I now need to decide what we're going to use for split backspace now, because I'm kind of limited on keys, I think. What are we going to put up there, guys? Let's just go for that and that. And then spacebar. And then we're done. So there we go, guys. This is the Fat Boy MK-76 with GMK ASCII. What do you think? Thoughts on the looks? Thoughts on the style? Bit of carbon fiber on the back for good measure. Side profile. It's a chonker. I need to get the tape marks off earlier on. Reminds me of the Cybertruck. Yeah. Not the nicest machine case in the world. There are some, you can see some streaks in the anodization and stuff like that. But then again, to get this at a price point from a top end manufacturer, it's going to be outrageously expensive. It's chunky. It's not the heaviest board I have by far, but it's chunky and it's solid. You know, it's not going anywhere. Like, it's pretty solid. It really surprised me how tall that bottom row was, actually. Yeah, like, look how tall row 0 is. So this row here, that's what usually you have. That's row 1. That's what you usually have on most key sets for the F keys. So if you look at Gmk white on black or 9009 or pretty much any other key set, that's the key that you have here. But this key, the row 0 keys, are stupidly tall. Look at the height difference there. Look at that proper sculpt. That's how a key set should be, in my opinion. You can see that proper curvature to this. So there we go. Like the design boot arrow key, so 65% or so. I think I prefer this as a 65%, so add in another column, take away the F row. But yeah. Yeah. I think Anarchy, if you had the chance to get one of these again, I think you'd take it. Zapri says, like, rare OG die stuff. I have a ton of rare OG die stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I would collect that stuff all day long if I could. Makes me kind of jealous of Germany. Apparently they have a culture where it's less the customer is always right and more of a symbiotic relationship. Would help combat some entitlement, I think. Yeah, that sounds really true, actually. Like, entitlement's kind of hard in this hobby. But yeah, I don't think I have like any right to having anything. Did I see the GMK Lavender I see? Oh man, that looks so good. GMK Lavender looks great. Like the rare OG die sub stuff that I have, Zapri, I don't think I have any right to have it, but if I can afford to buy it and I can find it, then yeah, I will do. Like, I have Belgian and Yugoslavian and UK and US die subs, and I think the great German die subs as well. I have quite a few sets of German die subs. They're the easiest to find. I'm hoping one day to get hold of some French ones. That's kind of like the next on my list to find. Weird key set. I like it. I think it looks great. This board looks really good. Petrov says, I'm generally not a fan of exposed screws like that, but I do like the shape otherwise. I know how you like a screw, man. Internal. That's how you like a screw. Thank you very much, Gempup, for the subscription. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I wonder if it will sound a bit like the HB85. It's going to sound hollow. I know it is, but hey, the fun is in the design of this board and the stuff you can do with it. It doesn't have to sound good. Russ, thank you very much for the subscription, man. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, dude. Looks very old school. Yeah, that's the point, man. It does. I'd be tempted to put a few accent color keys on top for a bit of pop. Yeah, well, we could put an artisan on there. How about, because it is because it's Halloween, or it was just Halloween yesterday, how about we put a Halloween artisan on here for the escape key? I'm not sure if I have a keycap puller to hand. I don't think I do. Let me see if I can find a keycap puller really quickly. No, we're going to have to try and do this by hand. Thank you very much, guys. What's going on? Some gifted some subs. Oh, it's Novel Keys. It's Mike from Novel Keys. Thank you, Mike. Mr. Novel Keys himself. I assume it's Mike that's on this, unless it's Corey or Wendell, whoever it is. Hey guys, thank you very much for that. Okay, I can't get this off. I was going to put this this nice Halloween themed robot on here, but let's just assume I've done that because I don't have a switch puller to hand. So let's just assume that's how the board looks. Let's just assume that's how the board is, right? That looks good enough. There you go. Hey Mike, thanks very much, man. Thank you for all the gift subs. I thoroughly appreciate that, man. Thank you. We need to catch up as well, Mike. It's so long since I've had a good chat with you. Mike, oh man, look at that. 50 gift subs. Thank you, dude. Thank you very much, man. We really appreciate that. 55 in total. Zepri says, do Arabic die subs exist? I don't know. I think they do, but I've only ever seen pictures of like 1 or 2 sets. That one, Brody. There we go. I think that's the last one. Very nice. Thank you. But I've only seen 1 or 2 sets. I do have some GMK Arabic sets coming. I bought 3 of those the other day. They're on the way. They should be here this week, and they'll probably go on my JO2 when I build it next weekend. So yeah. It looks so industrial. It does, right? I think that's the point, though. It's supposed to look industrial. I'm just going to see if I've got anything that I can prise this keycap up with without damaging it. Let's see if I can. Don't try this at home, folks. I would hate for anyone to do this and damage their own keycaps just by trying to copy me. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not that one. Maybe this one. There we go. There we go. We now have the robot in place. Looking good. There we go. $100 switch puller, can't even remove the camera. I do have a Y keycap puller, but it's in the warehouse. Like, the warehouse is just behind me, like the space right behind me. So I just don't have it to hand right now. I don't have one up on top here. I've got a shelf just above here. I usually have most things up there. I just don't have one to hand. I've got thousands of them, just don't happen to have one right here with me right now, which is typical. So yeah, so there we go, guys. I think it's about time we do a bit of a typing test of this to see how it sounds, because this looks really, really cool. It's like so funky. And I do need to clean up the sellotape. My big note to the runner would be don't put sellotape on the anodization. That's a big no-no. But other than that, I'm genuinely really happy with this board. I suspect this is not going to sound as good as it looks, but hey, it doesn't have to sound good. I think it just has to sound okay. And when I put a solenoid in this, that's going to take away all of the sound quality of the board anyway, because all you're going to hear then is chunk, 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 chunk every time I type a key. So let's bear that in mind, and let's give this a little bit of a typing test to see how it sounds. Technically, I'm at work. Yes, technically this is my workshop. This is the office space for my workshop. Through the door just over here, and then basically all around is the warehouse itself. Yeah, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see hundreds of videos every day on there. I put maybe 10 or 15 stories up there every day. So yeah, let's see how this sounds. Let me take off my headphones. Okay, okay. That pings like a madman. Like, I can't. I don't know if the mic's picking this up. Let me get it closer. But I like this. Like, it doesn't sound what we would usually call good, but it sounds so different that I don't dislike it. The alpha sound okay. I mean, it is Holy Pandas, so. The phrase you're looking for is so bad, it's good. Type and feel is interesting. Like it's got some spring to it. There is some movement there. It's not like as bouncy as like the thermal, but there is some movement there. It's soft. You can feel the softness underneath. It's softer than Bergamot would be, which is really the interesting point. Yeah, I love this. Like I couldn't give a stuff what this sounds like. This sounds so good. And as soon as I put a solenoid in there, that's going to change the whole thing anyway. The spacebar is so rattly. But that's not a bad thing. Like, it's just a thing, right? It's just a thing. It doesn't matter how bad or good it is. Oh, hold on. I need to find some better music. There we go. Better music's back on. Okay. How do the F keys sound? Hold on. Do you know what the interesting thing there was? I slipped off the key and I actually hit the metal here. Listen to this. I wonder if I'll do it at the side. There's no spring ping. I guarantee there's no spring ping. The only ping you're hearing is from the case. You can hear the ding ding. It sounds like the Noah. Do you know what this board sounds like? It sounds like the Noah 65. It sounds exactly like the Noah 65. That's what this board sounds like. The Noah 65. No, there's no spring ping. Like these, I've had these switches for a while. I've lubed them. They're fine. There is no spring ping in them. Like it's literally just the noise in the case. That's the noise you're hearing. But it does sound like the Noah. It reminds me very much of the Noah's sound profile. I prefer the look and the feel and the chunk of this though directly. Like I'm gonna have so much fun modifying this and doing different things with it. Like so much fun. Putting a solenoid in this backspace here because there's so much room. I could put a huge solenoid in there. I could probably put like an inch long solenoid in here. Give me a thermal as a comparison. Sure. Let me unplug it so I don't type too weirdly. Let me pause the music again. Okay, so here's the thermal is completely unlubed. Yeah. So these are Holy Pandas. These are lubed with Krytox 104 on the stems and Krytox 104 on the springs. These are completely stock Gator ink switches. Yeah, these are completely stock Gator ink switches. So the idea for this was I was going to use it for 2-3 weeks and then strip it back and then rebuild it. I wanted the switches to be just so worn in. The switches are almost there, so it's going to be taken apart, desoldered, and then rebuilt at some point in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I think. But I love the thermal. It's just such a nice board. It's just a great board all round. Why is that great? He says that he can't get the USB port in. There we go. Okay, let's get the music back on. Okay, so plans for this board are absolutely put in a solenoid in the rear part, modify the rear panel to have some sort of output, probably in the center. Probably get some new panels cut for this. Maybe do individual panels because you can do that on this board. So yeah, really interested to see. The ping of the case is a D6 note, in case you were wondering. Nice. Boy 3 and 4, how often do you maintain your desoldering gun? Every time I use it, man. Like, every time I use it, I change the glass vial and throw it away and put a new one on, and I change the tip as well. Like, every time. But usually I'll do 4 or 5 boards at once with it, so. Why does a thermal give me Apple Magic Keyboard flashbacks? That's better than any Apple Magic Keyboard. Way better, like 100 times better. And this is just super cool. Can anyone else think of mods I could do to this? I'm tempted to get a new top case cut. So I do have a carbon fiber one there. So I could change out the top case for a carbon fiber one, and that will just sit on there instead and be like carbon fiber. But I could do a ton of different stuff with this top space here. I'm thinking maybe like a mini OLED screen, something like that. Takuchi, Satomi, as soon as I put a solenoid in this case, it's not going to matter if it's got ping or not. Like 100% it's not going to matter if I've got ping or not. Like as soon as I put a solenoid in there, all you're going to hear is thunk, 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 thunk every time I press a key. Like the whole idea of this case is it's supposed to be empty and full. Maybe not a cyberboard type screen, but maybe just like a little screen. Maybe just like a little screen centralized. I could probably fit a Raspberry Pi in here as well and make it a full-fledged computer. That's something else I could do. A beeper solenoid. No, it's going to have a proper thunk solenoid in it, like a proper old school solenoid, not a beeper one. Like a really old school thunk one. Anarchy and I are going to have a chat about how I need to do that. Okay. Right, okay guys, so I've been streaming for a couple of hours now. This build went way better than I was expecting it to. I'm really happy with this board, I love it. I'm going to strip it down and take it apart and get some goo gone on the case off stream in a few minutes. Is there any last questions that you guys have for me while I tell you about the upcoming build streams I've got this week? If you've got any questions, just ask and tag Top Clack, and I'll tell you about the streams I've got coming this week. So, in no particular order, and it's going to change on a day-to-day basis depending on what switches I have and how busy I am, but effectively over the next week we are going to be doing a few things. So I'm going to be building a JO2. That's absolutely going to happen. I'm going to be building my personal one. I'm going to be building a second JO2, which is going to be a customer build who left the board with me to build specifically for them. I'm also going to be doing a Game Boy Advance conversion, so we're going to be converting it from its plastic shell into a metal custom-made shell, and we're also going to be installing a backlit screen as well as an internal battery to that can be recharged via USB-C. Once that's done, I also have a Matrix Able that I want to build. So I have an Able version Dark Plus that I want to build, so my personal Matrix Able. I also have my Key Cult number 2 that I want to build because that's been sat in my build stream, in my build queue for God knows how long. I also have a Duck Viper V2 that again has been sat in my build queue for far too long and needs sorting out. I also have a second build I want to do for my ANSI board, and I also have the 10 key JO1 build to do as well. So that's the next week in build streams. That's the next 7 to 10 days in what I'm going to be building. Hopefully you guys are interested in seeing some of those. Solenoid needs ping, definitely like the idea of a pipe. It's going to be great. Have you shown EPBT Cyrillic? If not, can you show it? I have shown it, but I can show it again. So this came in to my warehouse Friday. I haven't got the whole shipment yet. I've only got about 10% of the sets, so none of this is shipping out to customers until I've got all of the sets in. But this is my personal one, and this is EPBT Retro Cyrillic. I'll have extras, yes. What is going on with this music? Like, why is it not sticking on the playlist I put it on? Why is it not sticking on this? Anyway, this is EPBT Retro Cyrillic. Extras will be available in a couple of weeks' time, aiming for the 14th as long as I've got all the orders out and everyone's happy with them. Hopefully this will ship out to customers who've already bought it by Wednesday of next week, so in about 3 days' time, assuming these all arrive on Monday or Tuesday. Let me zoom in a little bit and show you this a bit more close up. So this is the key set, EPBT Retro Cyrillic. And then you also get a second tray with your numpad and everything else you could possibly need, including UK ISO support, which is good. The only disappointment about this doesn't have a red ISO enter, but hey, I wouldn't use it anyway. So there we go. Hopefully that that does it for you. Dark Heaven Light. And yeah, excited to ship that out to customers in the next few days. I just need the rest of the actual key set to turn up. As I say, I only received one box out of 12, I think, so which had about 10 or 12 key sets in it. So I'm waiting for the rest of those to turn up. And then I also need actual boxes to ship it in, which should be here tomorrow. So the boxes to ship it in should be here tomorrow. But there we go. Okay, if there's no further questioning, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream there. I'm going to go and take some Gooby Gone onto this case and try and clean it down a little bit. And then I'm going to sit down and chat with Anarchy at some point in the next couple of days on how I can get a solenoid working in this case, because I'm really excited about doing that. But thank you very much for watching, folks. We need to pick someone to raid. So if you guys have got any preference on who's online, who you'd like to raid, let me know. And we will go raid them. Who is available? Okay, so Stashed is building, so let's go raid Stashed because he's up and running. Let's go raid Stashed. So thank you guys for watching. I genuinely appreciate it more than you can possibly know. I'm going to run the outro now, and then we're going to close down the stream. So thank you very much for watching, guys. See you later. When I can find the outro button.
It's nice. And then space bars. You know? Pretty clean. I like it. Probably would buy. My brother got the white. My brother got the white fucking Sat 75 today. Though I know this is the Evolve, but I say that because of the knob. My brother got the white Sat 75 today. Ooh, I like the desk mat. I'm a big fan of desk pads that have the design around it. So you'll see my desk pads as I start to drop them. They'll generally have the design around the outside of the pad. That's kind of how I tend to do, or prefer to see them at least. Yo, clean though. I like it, Nix. I like it. Switch back here. There we go. Sat 75 gang, stand up. Yo, let's go, Captain Ladies Man. You got one? What color did you get, brother? What color did you get? Top Clack. Holy shit. Oh my god, boys. 109 viewers. Jay, how the fuck was stream today, brother? How was stream, my dude? Good to see you guys. How are you? Good to see you, Jay. How is everyone doing? Obscure, good to see you, brother. Lavender, yo. Lavender's looking good. I like it. Probably gonna have to